Hello, everybody. Can you hear me out there? Hello, can you hear me okay? We're about to get started. It's going to be awesome. Just type in the chat there if you can hear me. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you very much. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. It's going to be lots of fun. I'm really looking forward to getting some input from the attendees because I want to see what you guys are looking for, what your challenges are with trying to get rid of your glasses, what I can do to help you, and what I've done to get rid of my own glasses. It's going to be lots of fun. It's another 8 minutes. It's going to be very exciting. Cindy, where are you from? Nice. We have some friends that are in Ohio, right by Ohio State. They do a lot of stuff with the football team there. Right in the middle of the country. It's probably pretty cold up there, isn't it? Any minute now, we're going to get going here. It was almost 90 degrees here today. It was really, really warm. Welcome, welcome. Please just leave a name of when you're here. When you get here, you can tell me that you can hear me okay and everything's working correctly. You should see the first slide here on the screen. Just let me know you can hear okay. I'm not bragging. I'm from Arkansas originally. I kind of like to have seasons. Of course, when it was cold here, it was, geez, what was it? It was about 60 degrees, and that's considered cold. So nothing compared to Ohio, I'll tell you that. For the people that are just getting on, if you could let me know, just type in the chat box that you can hear me. That would be appreciated. It is exciting. It's really exciting, Cindy. I just kind of stumbled across it. Played football for a long time myself, and it was just kind of a neat thing that I was able to come across these different exercises and the different nutritional aspects of vision. And we have worked with a lot of our patients and have gotten some really great results. And I mean, it's amazing how quickly some people are just like, we had a talk, when was it? I had a talk a few months ago, and it was just amazing because we had a lady, she was 72, about to take her driver's test, and was worried that she was going to get her license taken away. And so we had her do a couple of these exercises, and literally in like 2-3 minutes, she was able to read 2 lines lower on the eye chart, just right there, right away. And then later on, she went on to take her test and didn't miss a single one. So I know that was exciting for her. She was really, really excited, and I was happy to be able to help her. All right, 4 more minutes. And don't forget, everyone that attends is going to get a free download of my book, 20 Surprising Foods for Clearer Vision. It's got over 50 recipes in there with some great food that's going to help keep your vision nice and clear, even if you've already got some vision challenges. It's going to help you to optimize your vision and get it back to where it needs to be. We're going to be doing these webinars once a week, every Tuesday around this time. The time might fluctuate a little bit, but every Tuesday I want to get some more information and try to make sure that the website that we're working on actually is as interactive and user-friendly as possible, because I know a lot of people aren't used to websites and aren't sure exactly how to navigate them, and I want to make mine as easy as possible. So we're going to get that all squared away. Of course, the technology issue, we always have problems that you can't foresee sometimes. We're planning on doing a webinar from the cruise. We're going to the Caribbean next week with the office, and we're going to do a couple of different webinars. And I've been told that the internet connectivity on a cruise is somewhat slow, somewhat limited, so that could definitely be a hindrance, I must say. But it'll be an adventure either way. 2 minutes left. Hello, everyone. Please type in where you're from there, and also make sure that you can hear me and that you can see the first slide. You should see You Don't Need Your Glasses or Contacts, Natural Ways to Correct Your Vision webinar with Dr. John DeWitt. Let me know if you can see that, please. 1 more minute, 60 seconds. The webinar today, I'm going to try to keep it as quick and to the point as possible, and there also will be a 72-hour replay available, so you can, if you didn't have a chance to make it on the webinar itself, we will have that replay available. You get it via email, the link for that, so that you can watch it at your leisure. And back to the cruise, we're leaving Sunday. We go to Fort Lauderdale, and then we're going to cruise to Cozumel, Jamaica, Grand Cayman, and Haiti. And there's the world's longest zip line over water is in Haiti, so that should be a lot of fun. All right, it's 3 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. I'm very excited to get started. I'm Dr. John DeWitt, and today we are going to talk briefly about natural ways to eliminate your need for glasses or contacts. So let's get started. So question. Oh, I had a little notification there. Sorry, I need to try to turn that off. Are you tired of your glasses if they make you feel old? Are you tired of them making you feel old? You always have to look for them, worried about sitting on them, breaking them, something like that. I know that was amazingly frustrating for me. And feel like you need a magnifying glass to be able to read. Or sometimes if you're not nearsighted, sometimes you need something to be able to see far away. You can't see when you're driving. You've got the little fuzzy halos around everything, things like that. Well, you are definitely in the right place, because we're going to go over some ways you can help alleviate those problems. It is possible. It is a reality. I am living proof. I am nothing special. I'm not some superhuman individual that has amazing skills of any sort. I wore glasses since the 8th grade. I'll go into the details of that in a minute. But if I was able to do it, you should be able to do it as well. We're going to talk about the Bates method. We're going to talk about relaxation, some stretches you can do, some exercises, different nutritional things that you can do to really make sure that you have the best nutrition possible to get your vision to its optimal levels. We're also, another thing, even as a chiropractor, I didn't realize that there are chiropractic adjustments that can actually help increase your vision. We're going to talk about that. So Dr. Bates, he was an ophthalmologist back in the 1800s. He had many different students. We had Margaret Corbett back in the 1940s. She actually got taken to court twice because they thought that some of the techniques that she was showing, she was a student of Dr. Bates, they thought that she was risking people's retina, that they were going to burn their retina with what she was coaching them to do. And turns out she had hundreds of people show up and testify on her behalf, and a lot of them were celebrities, including Aldous Huxley, who wrote The Brave New World. He was clinically blind for 18 months, and under the tutelage of Margaret Corbett, he actually got his vision back. I mean, he admits that he couldn't see 100%, couldn't see super clear, but I mean, going from seeing nothing to being able to see, enough to be able to read without his glasses, he was ecstatic, and he went on to write more books, in fact, based on his improvement. So we're going to talk about some different conditions. I know a lot of people are nearsighted, a lot of people are farsighted. First, we're going to talk about glaucoma. Now, glaucoma, this is an increased pressure called intraocular pressure that can damage the optic nerve. And the optic nerve comes in and attaches to the back of the eye. And the back of the eye, that is the retina. And that's basically the screen that your lens projects the images onto. Now, if there's damage to that optic nerve from that eye pressure, glaucoma can cause permanent loss of vision. And so here's an example, or a kind of a diagram. So you have the eyeball, there's the lens on the left side, you've got the intraocular pressure, the healthy optic nerve there. But then if there's damage, then it cuts off that circulation, and the optic nerve can't connect with the visual cortex, which is in the back of the brain, where it actually interprets all those signals, all that information, all the light that comes in through the eye. It's not an image yet, it's just light, quantum coming in, hits the retina, the optic nerve processes it using the specialized cells, the rods and cones. The rods are for dim light viewing or black and white viewing, and the cones are for color viewing. And it sends all that information via the optic nerve to the visual cortex in the back of the brain, and that is actually where it processes what the image is. And there's an interesting story about that I'm going to get to in just a minute. So now let's talk about cataracts. Now that's a clouding of the eye's natural lens. It's the most common cause of vision loss in people over the age of 40 and is the principal cause of blindness in the world. There's more cases of cataracts worldwide than there are of glaucoma, macular degeneration, and diabetic retinopathy combined, according to Prevent Blindness America. So now that's interesting too, because one thing you might not know is when you go to the optometrist and they shine the light in your eye and they're looking in the back of your eye, what they're looking for are microaneurysms. And so that means the tiny little blood vessels that are in the back of the eye on the retina, if they rupture, they're going to leave little red spots on the back of your eye. And if they see that, that can be an indication that you're potentially in early stages of diabetes. And so what they'll do is they'll see that, and being a chiropractor, if I were to see that, I always recommend nutritional changes first, making sure you're drinking enough water, getting your adjustments, things like that. Because if you have a healthy body, then in 30 days, if you have type 2 diabetes, in 100% of our cases in our office, we can actually get them off of any diabetic medication and get them back healthy. But they just have to make those lifestyle changes, and that's the trickiest part, because some of those are the hardest things to actually change, are the lifestyle changes. The cataracts are the #1 cause of blindness, so that's critical. And basically, in all the medical research that I've read, it talks about how they're not exactly sure what causes cataracts, but it's just a calcification or a hardening of the protein in the lens itself. But there is a way to help reverse that. And here's another visual for the cataracts. You have a healthy eye, has a nice clear lens, and then the eye with the cataract has got that clouded lens because of the calcified or the hardened proteins. And that's what it looks like. If you have seen some folks, or even if this might resemble you looking back in the mirror, you see that kind of hazy fog over the eye, and that's cataracts. And then this third one is age-related macular degeneration. Now, this is the leading cause of severe vision loss in people over the age of 60. And it occurs when the small central portion of the retina, known as the macula, starts to deteriorate. So then you're not able to process the images the way you're supposed to and get the proper signal back to that visual cortex in the back of the brain. And so you feel like you got to use, you're like this guy, and you have to use a magnifying glass all the time. So now a little bit about my story, why I started this whole project, is that I wore the glasses. I actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to wear glasses. I thought it made people look smart, and I always aspired to be smart. And so I decided I wanted to wear glasses, and I got my wish starting in the 8th grade. I thought it was great until I started playing football, which was right around that same time. And it really is difficult to play football wearing glasses. You don't want to wear those big goggles. You don't want to have to wear contacts, which I ended up having to do. I was lucky enough to play college football at Vanderbilt University, earned a scholarship after my first semester, which was great. But it was so hard to deal with having the contacts, because I always was touching my face, and I'm always just like, I was always sweating and getting sweat in my eyes. Contacts were horrible. I remember there was a game in, where was I? We were in London playing in NFL Europe, and I got poked in the eye, and my contact was messed up. I had to come out of the game. And the very next play, the guy that took my place got a sack on that play. I was a defensive end. And so that was a sack that I should have gotten, but because of my contacts, I wasn't in the game to do it. And so after I played football, I retired and decided to become a chiropractor. And the natural ways of healing that chiropractors study, I decided there had to be a way to heal the eyes naturally. And that's when I came across the Bates method and these different exercises. And I literally, I still can't believe it, because people tell me, it's funny because I have patients tell me, don't tell people that it actually worked for you this quickly, or they're not going to believe you. And I still have patients that don't believe me. And I mean, I just am not one to make stuff up, and I'm not going to try to say, oh, it took a month. It literally, one of these exercises I did, and it took me about 5-10 minutes. And then I didn't have to wear my glasses again for 2 years. 2 years after taking 5-10 minutes. I mean, who can take 5-10 minutes for an exercise and then not have to wear your glasses for 2 years? And I had to wear my glasses all the time. I had to wear them for my driver's license to drive. I had it on my license. I had to wear them for reading. I was farsighted, so I could see far away, but it's just reading. Everything the letters would get really fuzzy, and it was just hard to read. But these exercises actually eliminated my need for glasses, which was really, really exciting. And there's a picture of me with my glasses in the 8th grade. I know they cover my entire face, but you know, you never know. You don't really understand what it's going to mean for you. And later on, when I really got into playing football, that was an issue. So some basic anatomy of how the eye works, and what the Bates method and why it works is because it works on the 6 muscles, the extraocular muscles that are on the outside of the eye. So you've got the superior and inferior rectus that move the eye up and down, the superior and inferior oblique muscles that move it diagonally, and then you have the external rectus that moves it to the outside, and the internal rectus, which is this image, that pulls it towards the eye, towards the midline. And so Dr. Bates, he was an ophthalmologist. He was very well respected, very well known, and he was just tired of always prescribing glasses for his patients. They would come in 6 months later, and oh, they need a stronger prescription. And he was just like, there has to be a better way. And so he started the different muscles and exercises and trying to figure out ways to work with the eye and the body's natural ability to heal itself. And eventually, once he came up with these exercises, he would call glasses similar to crutches for a broken leg. And if you always depend on these crutches, then you're never actually going to allow your body to heal itself the way it should. So it's kind of like a crutch, and it prevents you from actually seeing as well as you should. So this is how we see. Now, everybody knows that the image, maybe not everybody, but when you see something, it goes through the lens, the image is inverted and shines directly on the retina in this first picture, the normal vision. If you're farsighted, the lens doesn't actually accommodate properly, and the ciliary or the little tiny muscles around the lens of the eye don't change the thickness of the lens enough. And so what happens is the image is focused behind the retina. So that means you can see far away, but you can't see up close. You can't read. If you're near it, it's just the opposite. It shines the image on a spot in front of the retina, so you can see up close, but you can't see far away. But see, the one thing everybody's always focusing on is the lens itself. But what the Bates method focuses on are those extraocular muscles, because it can literally change the shape of your eyeball and change where that retina is, so that it actually brings the screen to that focal point to make sure it's bringing what you're looking at into focus. And another big thing that he focused on was that you don't want to strain or stress. He was a very big supporter of relaxation. You need to do deep breathing. Meditation is really good, really important, but the stress, if you're stressed out about trying to see better, that's going to be a stressed mind that's not going to allow you to see as well as you should. So now this is a diagram of what I was speaking of earlier, where you have the eyeball. Obviously, the brain on the right is considerably smaller, depending on what political party you're in. I'm just joking. But then the optic nerve carries the impulses to the back of the brain, where the visual cortex is, and that is actually where you process the images. Now, the interesting thing about this is that they've done experiments recently where they can have people wear glasses that change the angle by a certain number of degrees. So when you're focusing, you're actually straight ahead, but it's actually showing you with these special glasses what's like 10 degrees to the right or 10 degrees to the left. And people, you can't function that way, but after about 15 to 20 minutes, your brain readjusts and is able to see normally, so you can predict where you're supposed to go and everything. It's normal for you. And so then they were like, well, what happens if you take the glasses off? So when they took the glasses off, they realized that it was just the same as when they put them on. It was hard for them to see when the glasses were off because their brain had already readjusted, and it took 15 or 20 minutes for it to go back to normal. And so what that is telling you is that vision is not an eye thing, it's a brain thing. And so it's so critical, and that's where the chiropractic adjustments come in, because you can adjust the different bones of the skull. Back in 1867, they said that the bones of the skull, the plates fuse and they don't move after that. But then they did another study in 1960 that said the sutures of the skull actually aren't fused, and they have 1/100th of an inch in between each of the plates, and you can actually move those bones of the skull just a tiny bit, and that helps increase circulation in different parts of the brain. So that's what we do a lot in our office, is we help with the circulation to the visual cortex, and that helps immensely as well. Now, as I said before, Dr. Bates said that poor vision was due to tension. So what this exercise is just deep breathing. So you're sitting relaxed, deep breathe in through the nose, exhale out through the mouth, and notice when you deep breathe in through the nose that the belly is coming out on that image on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you're breathing out through the mouth, it's going in. So that is so critical, because that's going to get the oxygen to the brain that you need to make sure that the oxygen is getting to the brain and also to the eyes themselves to make sure they stay nice, healthy, and alive. Here's another exercise that he predicted, because vision is motion. There's a vibration with the vision, and with life in general, we're all an energy, a vibration. And so you would stand and you would do a long swing to the right, long swing to the left, just like you're doing in the image here. And what you do is you let your eyes just kind of track and see what they're seeing, but you're not trying to see anything in particular. You're just aware of as you move to the right, it appears as if everything you're looking at, especially the stuff up close, is moving in the opposite direction. It's called oppositional movement. So this is something that's really critical to embrace what you're seeing when you're walking in everyday life. I mean, even if you're walking, are you walking forward, or is everything that you're experiencing moving past you and going the opposite direction? So that's just something to focus on. In the cross crawl, this is another more complicated and technical technique, because what you do is you're taking the opposite side to the opposite knee as you're marching, staring straight in space, but it encourages and stimulates both hemispheres of the brain, and that's going to help the brain to heal even faster and get optimal connection to the eyes. Yawning, people always wonder, why is energetic yawning something that we need to do? Well, when you yawn, it actually relaxes the temporomandibular joint, the jaw muscles, and it also forces more oxygen into the brain and into the eyes. So that's going to help immensely. But also, when you close your eyes and when you blink, that creates a normal, natural lens from the tears of your eyes, and that can help you to focus and see better. Now, palming is another really important technique or exercise that Dr. Bates came up with. You sit normally, you need to have your elbows supported at 90 degrees, have the palm of your hand on your cheekbone, and you have your fingers going across your forehead in the middle, and the opposite hand is on the opposite side. And you're doing your deep breathing while you're doing this. You're relaxing, you're being pitch dark. You want to see dark, dark, dark. And think of a black piano or someone's black hair or a black cat, something like that, to really relax. And this is the important part, because you have a sympathetic and a parasympathetic nervous system. It's the autonomic nervous system. Now, the sympathetic is that fight and flight, you got to go, go, go. And that's what some people, especially out in Southern California where I am, they're always in that state. But you also need to support the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest part of the autonomic nervous system. And so you need to have a balance. And so the palming is all about stimulating that parasympathetic nervous system. And the palming is something you always want to do after you do sunning. Now, sunning is the one exercise that I did that it literally took me about 5 minutes of doing this, and I didn't wear my glasses for 2 years. Of course, I didn't do my exercises in those 2 years either. Being a guy, I was like, well, it's working, so I don't need to do the exercises. But that's not how it is. You have to do maintenance exercises to make sure that you don't backtrack. So you hold your hands in front of you. It's only about 4 or 5 inches in front of your face. You have your eyes closed. You're looking directly in the sun. Do your fingers up and down, and when you do that up and down motion, and actually you can even do it in the house with a light up in the ceiling. It creates like a strobe effect, and that actually helps to stimulate the specialized cells in the eyes. But it also just helps warm the face. You get vitamin D3 from the sun, and it increases that circulation. If you don't want to go to this advanced level of the sunning, you can just do sunning where you have your eyes closed again, looking up at the sun, and you turn your head to one side over your left shoulder, and then turn it to the other side over your right shoulder, and just notice the warmth on your face. And it'll actually tell you, you'll just notice that warmth, and just be aware, be more aware of yourself in space. Now I'm going to answer any question at the end. Just hold on 1 second. I know I'm long-winded. So now these are eye movements. These are really, really important, and there's some funny little spy games here too that you can kind of play on your friends. But you always want to look around in a full circle when you're warming up your eyes. Stretch out the muscles, those extraocular muscles, because those are the ones that are moving your eye in every direction. And so you're sitting there, you get up in the morning, you're doing your exercises, you yawn, and you really kind of wake up your face, and then you start looking in a circle all the way around. You can go clockwise, you can go counterclockwise, and just pause in each different direction. Now, for anybody that's asking if someone's telling a lie or not, if they look up and to their right, which is up and to your left, that means they're actually trying to remember something. But if they look up and to their left or to your right, that means that they're trying to come up with something, and they're making something up. So just in case anybody wants to know any super spy techniques. So my best friend's dad was an FBI agent, and that's one of the things he used to talk about all the time. But anyway, I digress. So lazy eights. Now, we talked about movement with the long swing and how important it is with the eyes. With the lazy eights, what you do is it's like you have a feather coming from your nose, and you trace the 8 you trace it around one way, and then you go back to the center, and then you go back the other way. And this is just incorporating movement, and it's going to help loosen up the muscles in your neck as well, because it's really important to be nice and relaxed and have loose upper body. Your shoulders should be nice and loose. Your neck should be nice and loose. And that's going to relax and get better vision as well. Now, here's the dreaded eye chart that I was telling someone earlier, Cindy, when we first started, that we had a patient that came in that 71 years old, 72 years old, getting ready to take her driver's test. She was really stressed about her eye exam. And so what I did is I had her stand up, had her read the lowest line she could, she could read about to level line 5. And then I had her do the palming, and she didn't even have her elbows supported. She did the palming with deep breathing for only like 3 or 4 deep breaths. She took the test again right there immediately, and I was crossing my fingers because this was in a live audience and that it was going to work. And she literally was able to read 2 lines lower after that. And I followed up with her a couple months later after she took her eye exam for the driver's license test, and she actually passed, and they had tested her each eye on 3 different charts, and she didn't make a single error. So she was so excited. She's getting her driver's test, getting her driver's license, and she was super nervous at first, but then I told her to do the deep breathing, and that helped immensely. And it's just really happy, makes me happy when people like that have that great result just with these simple exercises. Now, this is something called a fusion string. You can make this at home. I'm in the process of figuring out a way to get one affordably constructed so that I can give to you guys from site. And all this is you hold the string up at the level of your nose, and then you focus on each consecutive bead. And when you get to the middle, it'll look like it's an X, just like in the image here, the diagram. And then when you look at the front, it looks like a V. And then when you look at the other side, it looks kind of like a TP. And that's important because you're training your eyes to focus and accommodate on one view, one area. So quick review, and then we're going to get into questions. What's the most common cause of vision loss in people over the age 40? And it's the principal cause of blindness in the world. Cataracts. What's the solution for that? Legumes. They have shown that in countries where legumes are a big part of the diet, such as India, there's a statistically significant lower occurrence of cataracts. So eat more black-eyed peas, more lentils, things like that, and you are going to optimize your chances, and you can actually reverse some of the symptoms of cataracts. What was the leading cause of severe vision loss in people over age 60? That was age-related macular degeneration. Now, with this, it was an actual breaking down of the macula itself, and so in order to help something be healthier in the body, we always want to get more circulation to that area. And so what does that are cayenne peppers. You want spicy peppers because there's something called nitric oxide in those peppers that helps to increase the elasticity of those arteries, and that's going to get more circulation to the area, and that's going to help optimize the circulation and heal that macula. Just imagine, I mean, you can see better, and it's going to see better. You're going to see better. This is my video for my Relax to Clarity website. All right, I'm going to stop screen sharing now. Hi, everybody. So let me maximize this so I can see myself and see any questions that we have. Now, I am working on that website, and I want to make it as good as I possibly can. I want to have everything that you would want. I have the books are available on the website, or they're going to be available on the website. I've got this book. This is the book that is available, and I'm going to put that offer up here in a second where you can download it for free. And then this is the third book that I did on chiropractic and how it can actually help you. And see, this is the area right here in the back of the brain where that visual cortex is, and that can help heal your vision as well. And all these are available on Amazon, but if you can hold off for about a month, I'm going to have a special discount on my website so you can get it for cheaper. But I need to check well, hold on. First, let me put up the offer so you guys can download that. I hope you guys have enjoyed this so far. It's really exciting for me. All right, so there's the offer. Hopefully you guys can see that. So you can just click on that, and it should give you a download link to download that immediately. Good. Let's see. Oh, okay, Elaine, you lost the sound and then you got it back. Excellent. Excellent. Now, do you have any questions so far? Because I really want to interact and make this as interactive as possible, because I do want this site to be exactly what it's going to be, a site that we make together, because I want to give you what you need. And I mean, if you don't want a lot of text you have to read on a website, I don't want to have a whole bunch of downloadable PDFs and all that stuff, because that's a waste of time. If you want more videos, I can do more videos. If you want webinars like this, I plan on doing these every week, at least until we get everything worked out. And then at that point, we'll probably go every other week. Like I said before, my office is going to the Caribbean on a cruise this weekend or next week, and that's going to be fun. We are going to try to do the webinar from there, and we cross our fingers that the internet connection is going to be good enough for that. Let's see, what else? So any questions? Let's see. Can you see the offer okay? Are you getting the offer okay? Did it pop up on the screen? I can't see it on mine, so just type in the chat box that the offer's there, or you can see it, or hello. Because if the offer's not up there, if you can't see it, then I need to make sure I get it up there so you can download that. But I mean, this literally just barely scratched the surface on what all is in there. Okay, good. Dry eyes, yes, very, very good. Let's try to make this fancy schmancy here, and we're going to put this. Kathy wants to know if there's any advice to repair dry eyes. So with dry eyes, it's really, really important to make sure you're drinking lots of water and eating fatty fish. So you want, I know it's hard, but you want mackerel, you want salmon, but it has to be wild salmon. You don't want any of the farm cooked or farm raised salmon, because they're a lot more unhealthy things that they feed them. But fatty fish are really, really good for dry eye. And like I said, drinking lots and lots of water. Where do you click to download? I believe there's a button at the very bottom that you should be able to click and instantly download it. So Elaine, if that doesn't work for you, let me know. Kathy, hopefully that answered your question. A lot of times people don't drink enough water. And I mean, it's hard for me because you have to drink half your body weight in ounces, and I weigh 240 something pounds. So that's over a gallon of water every day. And if you don't do it for a really long time and then you try to start doing it, you have to ease your way into it, because if you just jump in and start drinking a gallon of water, you're going to be in the bathroom every 30 minutes. And even if you're like that, after a couple of weeks, eventually your body does readjust and get to where, okay, I'm ready to handle this much water. But until you get to that point, you're not very productive, because you're always going back and forth to the bathroom. So, and I know a lot of older patients of ours that they know they need to drink water, but they aren't super continent when it comes to being able to hold it when they have to go. And so that can be frustrating too. But in cases like that, they have Kegel exercises that you can do. So when you're urinating and you want to stop the stream, you contract those muscles. And if you do that throughout the day, just contracting those muscles and hold it for a count of 10, just do it 4 or 5 times throughout the day, that actually is a great way to help get a better connection of the nerves to those muscles, and that's going to help control that incontinence as well. Gulp or sip the water, whatever it takes to get the water down. You want to, let's see, make that, there we go. It doesn't really matter whatever you want to do as far as the water goes, just as long as you get it in your stomach. You can see it, but can't download the offer. All right, well, that is unacceptable. Let me see how, okay. All right, so if you click the get it, do you see the get it now? You do see it. I believe that was Cindy. You do see it, the get it now, but when you click it, it doesn't download. But can't download. Okay, I will, let's see. Singiz, you got it okay? Did you get it? Did you get the download okay? Because I'm trying to figure out if there's any other way I can give you guys that. And this webinar will be available for 72 hours after this. So if you'll get an email that says, hey, if you want the replay, it's going to last this long. If you come up with any other questions, or if you have friends that have questions about this, then they can watch it and they can get the free download too. You can't see okay, Senga's got it, Elaine. So maybe scroll down a little bit, because it's right under the image. It says attendees get this download free, and then it has a little orange button that says get it now. You can see it, but can't download. So Elaine, if you want to send me you can send me your email. You can email it to support@relaxedtoclarity.com, and I'll make sure you get a copy of that. Okay. Are there any other questions? Do you guys have any idea what you might want in a website? Or, oh, good. Good. Do you have any idea what you might want in a website? I was thinking about having it where you can get the different books, you can get ebooks. I've also got, so I have those books. Hold on one second. I'm going to show you this other thing that I have. That's really exciting. So we went over all those foods, and the book, like I said, it's got over 50 recipes for different foods that are going to help keep you nice and healthy. Well, if you're kind of like, it's a lot of cooking, I don't cook, that's not my thing. Well, then I also have this. Now this has all the supplements as of now that optimize your health for vision. So zinc, vitamin E, A, and C. There's lutein, zeaxanthin, beta carotene, and a whole bunch of other good stuff. So this is also available. The only place you can get it is on the site. Of course, the site's not up and running at the moment, but this is something I'm really excited about. I'm going to run a special on this when we get back from the cruise, where you can actually get, this is a month supply, or you can get 2 month supply, or even a 4 month supply at, like, I think it's an 80% discount. It's ridiculous. So this is really, really good. Cindy, okay, you got it. Okay, perfect. Good. So the supplement is something that I personally love to take, because that way I know I'm getting all the nutrients I need for my eyes. I don't have to worry about, oh, did I eat enough legumes today, or did I have my blueberries for the glaucoma, or things like that. So, that was another, I didn't have that in the slide. If you have glaucoma, blueberries, have a handful of blueberries every day, and it literally doesn't have to be a specific number of blueberries or anything like that. Just a handful of blueberries just consistently every day, and that has been shown to decrease the pressure in your eye, and that helps a lot with glaucoma. So, well, if there aren't any more questions, I really appreciate you taking the time for this. I ended up going over, I think it's been, 43 minutes. Yikes. Okay. Well, next time we're going to talk more about the exercises. We'll talk more about the nutrition. You can just let me know what you'd like me to talk about next time. And like I said, it's going to be a weekly thing. So if you found it valuable, have some friends watch, and we'll get you all squared away, and we'll get you where you need to be as far as your vision goes. Okay? All right. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.